Let's see.
Give us the
It is now.
You want one proposition, or you want a
No, just
checklist?
that, just the checklist side, because I don't want to do it both all the times.
Sacred checklist. Welcome to Sacred Grounds with Dan Brady. As the current host of this, the longest-running open mic in the known and unknown universe, serving up good food and fine poetry since
1972.
Oh, wow. Tonight's co-pilot is blank.
Well, it's going to be him until
blank,
Antoinette
me,
shows up.
Blank
So.
until
Yeah.
Antoinette.
She said she would, so she should be here. But sometimes she works and that gets
Let's have a big hand for Teddy and Fiona, our host. And please support this reading by enjoying the food and drink served here. Poetry of all kinds, ladies and gents, is welcome. Here we respect the mic. Whew.
That's what they
That
say.
means keeping conversations to a minimum and to a slight whisper. Putting phones on mute, vibrate, or airline mode. Airline mode. Put it on airline mode.
Here, let me model that for you. Oh, it's dead. Never mind.
Not disturbing the poet while they're speaking, walking in front of them, kicking them, throwing tomatoes at them, say, and keeping to the time limit, usually only 5 minutes, but that can switch to eternity. It can change. If you want to know what is going on here, watch the confusion. Get on the emailing list or join the Facebook group. Please note our streaming link. It's handy in 5 ways.
Hi.
1, why you can view conveniently enough from home. Number 2, family or friends can see you live or later on. Number 3, want to hear so-and-so's poem again, or whatchamacallit's poem again, or I don't know's poem again? You can do a self-critique. Never. I never do them. And no problemo, mi amigo. I don't speak Latin either. And it is a way to put out the word yours, mine, ours, minutes, seconds. It's a way to put out the word. And that brings us to the ongoing theme. Never doubt that a small group of committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Margaret Mead. The evening's theme is miscellaneous, miscellaneous. And you can use one or both, and you can shoot it out your nose. Okay, so we are pleased to say our feature is
Bailey Lisbeth! Lisbeth Bailey! You're the feature, we're announcing you. Thanks. Give the Queen's wave, please.
I think you're the only female in
the Queen's wave is like this, dear. Queen's wave is like this. Okay, and tonight's keynote, unlocking the very depths, is
Keynote is Wendy Walters.
Wendy Walters.
She couldn't be here because of
And she couldn't be here, so
but she has a medical thing going on.
she has a medical thing going on. There is no keynote.
There could be if someone wants to
Could be
volunteer,
a
though. Let me know later on.
keynote. While our mini feature,
The only feature is Owen Dunkel, who is here.
Owen Dunkel is here, and the last word is
The last word
Blah.
is
Blach.
Antoinette. That's what-
Antoinette.
so she's not here right now, but
We're missing left and right. Someone remind Dan to make a feature clip.
make a feature clip,
Make a
Dan.
feature clip. And now, our fabulous door prize.
Fabulous door prize. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been gifted with
Number
many of
one.
them, but I'm going to introduce you to the
Number
ones
two.
that I already came with. As
Number
friends.
3. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
All right. I recently decided to take all my DVDs and CDs and put them in a new filing system. So these things are obsolete, which you might want for yours. This is all one package. Thank you very much. Now, if you remember Perles's book, you might remember The Good Earth, and here it is before your very eyes. It's a great book. They made a movie out of it, but the movie wasn't as good as the book was. The Gift by Hafiz, a great book, which I have 3 copies of, so this one is here now. And then there is The Great Petrowski, A Fable for Children of All Ages by Gina Berolt. I could be wrong there. And if you like haiku and you think you might like haiku, this is my haiku book, which is right here, right now, and I will sign it. And you know what? I'm going to do. Oh, and Lisbeth has books that she is offering to those individuals who are so interested. She's gifting you with them. And I'm going to add. Take this one here. Opus Post, humorous poems. Oh, I'm not going to read this before I give it away. This is The Region Cloud by Percy Lubbock, Jonathan Cape of London. So I don't know anything about this. This is just given to me. Let me see what year it was. 1472. No, that's not right. Well, there is no. So this is a first edition because there's no year in here. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, that's from Shakespeare's sonnet. Well, they don't have a date in this. Isn't that amazing? Could be an ancient tome here. Oh, it says first edition. Right here it says someone. I have no idea. Who just gave me this? Who gave me this? Someone just gave me this. Was it Tommy? Did you give me this?
No, I gave it Astronomy magazine.
No.
Mr. Mystery gave it to you.
Oh, someone just walked up here and gave me all
That
these.
was me.
Oh, Ed. So Ed Mike Hughes gave us this one, so that's it.
And he's in the house.
One of the famous novels of 100 years ago by the author of The Craft of Fiction. That when I was a boy, all my old teachers thought that was the good book. But this was a very odd novel. It was talked about.
There we go. So there we go. Oh, and yes, and in case you're interested in dinosaurs, the field guide to dinosaurs. And I have a copy of Playing in Light just by Elizabeth Bailey in case you. And that's it.
And?
Oh, yes, thank you. He's okay.
And?
If you wanted to be the co-pilot as a door prize, you would pick this, which he is now, but will be replaced by
By
someone.
default, I'm the default co-pilot.
Default. And then the mini feature, which is Owen Dunkel over there. He comes on in the second half and he gets 8 minutes. Choosing the theme or prompt, which he did last time and gave us miscellaneous, mucilagynous miscellaneous.
Easy for you to say.
That's right. The keynote, which is Wendy Walters, and she forgot about that, and she has some medical thing going on. She told me, oh, I forgot about it, I can't go. I said, I'll take care of it. And then the last word, the clincher closer, super duper bulldozer. Antoinette is that. She opens and closes the second half. And if someone has a poem that they would like to read as a poem of somebody else's that they would like to read as a keynote tonight,
That's a
please
keynote.
let us know in a moment or so.
Oh, if you wish to record someone, you'll need to do a sound check. And if you do a sound check, make sure the check is blank. And if you're blank, then you'll need to ask permission to record this person. We will assume you've done so, should any of us notice recordings being made. Okay, that's it.
That's it. Thank him. Please give him a round of applause for taking care of something like that. For someone like me, I'm not like this. Things like that.
I can give you a delay. Go and get it in 20 minutes.
We have no number one. We have no
The Hobbit.
number one just walked in. You're on, baby. You're on. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, how about a keynote? You want to do someone else's? You're on.
No, he called it. What don't you do? You know what, Rob? Rob. We'll do that one, but he'll do one now, and we'll do another. We'll do two. Okay. You want Rob? You want to do? We'll watch your stuff,
But I need 20 minutes.
but I'll rifle it though.
Forget it.
Okay. All right.
Top of
Get
it.
away. Go away.
I can't be number 17.
No, you could do that if you
After
want.
the feature, I mean, that's like second class citizen.
Forever from now.
He wants to relax, sit down, maybe you for a while. Maybe clear out the anal capacities.
The anal capacities?
No, anal.
Neural.
Neural. Thank you.
Please.
Neural capacity.
We're addled.
I'm sorry.
There we go.
Ooh, teacher, he put stars on the paper.
It's because he's a special student. Here we have another.
right,
Sharon,
right.
you want to go number one? Are you ready here? We got a keynote. Are you ready? You number one, take it one. Yes. No. Okay, no, number
We're down
one.
here. I already got my thing going on. I like the way you're enthusiastic.
You like that enthusiasm?
I like that
Warriors
enthusiasm.
are playing. I can't help it.
Love the
Let us read loudly the first 5 people. He didn't know
Number
he was-
one
he didn't know he's supposed to be.
is Buford Bunton.
Buford Bunton.
Was actually number 2. We're going to take him first. You want to read poetry? Please sign up.
You guys have a plug-in for an anniversary.
Well, we have. There's a second plug over there. There's a second plug.
Stereo of any sort.
There's an amp plug right here. There's one amp for this, and then there's another plug if you have something else. Let's take a look. Didn't you sign in?
I guess I did. Apparently, unless there's more than one Martin. I'll be 11 and a half if there's another Martin.
No, he's here.
Buford, you're up, baby. Number 2.
All right.
And Britt, you're number 4. You're up second.
And then,
Oh, and that's
Oh, Bob.
Bob.
And Bob, then Rob, then David, then you're Bob. You're another Bob, right?
Hey.
All right, this is your first time here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're gonna
Oh,
yell
you're
and
in
scream and
trouble.
holler
You're
and
in
pound the
trouble.
tables.
Sounds like poetry to me.
Well, you know, there we go. All right, give Buford a round of applause. He comes up here, kicks us off for the evening. Rob will come back with his
Scold American. Scold American.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. My mother thanks you. My brother's next door's neighbor's best friend, second cousin, second
We're gonna
grade
shoot
teacher.
your hat if you keep that up.
I hate that cat. Hates me
Consider
too.
it shot.
You know?
Shoot the piano player, not the cat.
Yeah, piano player. Okay, he's getting ready, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Here we go.
So baseball's been in town, so I wrote a little bit about baseball here.
Bumgarner.
Bumgarner did a good job. They just didn't get him any runs. Tall Will Smith, not the actor, strikes out Diamondbacks hitters. Cool San Francisco afternoon, AT&T filled with markers that say Giardelli, Coca-Cola, big metal bottle in left field. You know, the one that's way out there. Giants players and deep-voiced manager Bruce Bochy stand behind the dugout and along the third base line. Afternoon hoot for up-and-coming baseball year. Okay. All right. This is called room 154. That's the room I work in at my job. The little engine that could, small to very large adolescent people with shortcut to long-haired girl and silent boys. Okay, there's that. Don't worry, I'm getting to Sandberg. I'm just not gonna follow Sandberg. I'm not that crazy. This is called Tired, the Journal of Past Middle-Aged Men. My baseball team is better than last year, though that may not be saying much. A loss today follows a lot of winning. That's good.
5 in a row.
Yeah. They have a better team this year. Okay, now let's get to the good stuff. This is from a Sandberg poem called New Hampshire Again. I remember a stately child telling me her father gets letters addressed Robert Frost, New Hampshire. I remember an old Irish saying his face is like a fiddle and everyone who sees him must love him. Okay, there's a little bit of Frost, and let me find some more Frost. These are excerpts. This is a nice book.
Frost
and,
or Sandberg?
Is Sandberg. Okay. Lincoln, he was a mystery in smoke and flags, saying yes to the smoke, yes to the flags, yes to the paradoxes of democracy, yes to the hopes of government. Okay.
Yeah.
And let me do one more Sandberg in this delightful little book. Tell your feet the alphabet. A few months later, this venerable, and excuse me if I just start in the middle of something. A few months later, this venerable Lincoln scholar, poet, historian, fairy tale writer, guitarist, and novelist was on television reciting the poetry while Gene Kelly, the Hollywood star, danced across the set. Sandberg strummed his guitar and directed the dancer. Tell your feet the alphabet. Tell your feet the multiplication table. Tell your feet where to go and watch them go and come back.
Nice. Good. Just put the name of the book on there.
Okay.
Just take it to your seat and then do it there.
Okay.
Because someone's going to come up.
Okay.
There's the next thing. Oh,
You
yes.
want to go next, Antoinette?
No, I thought I was like.
No,
You are the co-pilot.
Yeah, yeah.
There's an opening.
No, she's here. She's
Oh, you got her down there.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Britt Peters.
Britt
you're up.
Peter, give him a nice round of applause. This man comes all the way from where he comes from and has to go all the way back there, or else he won't go home. That was weak applause, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like expected a little bit more for this man.
Tonight's theme, touch. Are you self-educated? Yes, isn't everybody? In one ear and out the other. I'm the flim-flam man. Flim. Did you get it?
Yeah.
I'm the flim-flam man with a canvas bag of gold. Self-educated. This bag contains major and minor deities. Lao Tzu, John Muir, Rex Roth, Blake and Mark Twain, Jack Gilbert and Dr. Bill, Dorothy Day and Joe Hill.
Bravo.
Yeah, mentors, lifelong mentors. I could go on. I'm a self-educated man. Aren't you glad you asked?
Yep.
This knowledge is not to be sneered at.
It's not to be sneered at.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good use of the prompts, brother.
You know, that reminds me of one of my favorite childhood poems. It goes something like this: when you're dancing with your honey and your nose is kind of running and you think it's rather funny, well, it's not.
I get it. It's not.
See, that's a great one. I thought I wrote that. All right. Now, if you were my second grade class, you would have repeated that. But you're not second grade. Then they go beebly bobbly bobbly beebly, and then they
Beebly bobbly bobbly beebly.
He should be in the
I'm ready
front
for
row.
you. I'm ready for you.
All right. So thank you, Britt. And now we have
Brett.
Bob, right? You're Bob. Are you going to do it from there?
No, Aaron is going to do it.
Oh, okay.
I don't do caffeine at all. I had some today. I did.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to read anything that pops up, and this popped up. It's the about the 7th
What's up?
page
Who's
of
up?
a novel.
Oh. Oh, Bobbaroo. Wait, let me get you your mic, Bob.
Don't get me anybody else.
All right, I won't get you anybody. I'll get you some electronics. Let her rip.
Here we go. It's a narrative. Well, we have gotten so far as to the first aspect of our journey. Why go or to have been also because one must mother said once, dolefully, doubtfully, it happened but right. It is not good to lie all day at home. One continued to dash, 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 dash. So the heat had been sharp in places Bob went, but also more even-tempered at one time. For a while he had been preoccupied, but when he got finally to his place, Adele was out. He called and then found himself. He had to wait. Looking back, he remembered rising before dawn and very busied with things. He had eaten all along his way, needed refreshment, water, what else? This, that he needed to purchase a money order. Here he stopped to consider. He put the money order minus the rent on the table after putting on some music. The ads were back. Could only avoid with complications. Stop. How do you like? Did you are liking music? Stop. Hope you have. Stop. Regards. See ya, Bruce.
Bob Gordon, and now the namesake of Bob is Rob, and he is not here at the moment because he wanted to do the keynote. He volunteered and he went to go get that. So we're going to skip him, and we're going to David Erdreich for crying out loud, who's also held by surprise because we're changing up things. Politicians in diapers are changed often for the same reason. Just so you know.
Thank you, Mr. Poopy.
As my friend says, say new assholes, but same old shit. Okay, I'm done with the profanity. Let him figure it.
Who are these storytellers who no longer sit around the fire? Consternation constantly stirs the nation. They are working poets, jovial slices of dishevelment, piquant practitioners of pragmatism, free speechers who gather their quality in quantity at sacred grounds, where coffee doubles for holy water and chai is the life of spice. Picket line, picket fence, picket nose, picket Wilson, warp and woof, reverse God and dog, equate equator with a slight bulge, mid-range, mid-life, mid-drift. We gather trinities in the Alps and tridents in our teeth. We spit mucilagynous miscellaneous on paper, easel, weasels, internal rhymes, infernal crimes. Give the people what we haunt. Cherry pick the ripe fruit before the robins become the coasters. Crack the west coast to a fault. Line up the islands in the sky and milk the maids by and by. Number 2, lip service. In calico neath patchwork quilt, spangles sift through delta silt, finest dust, rarest earth, avians of virgin birth, sky encapsuled in a globe, claw unsheath, beak disrobed, angelic voices blended dawn, lovers yawn at curtains drawn, chorus raises up the sun, approaching solstice, colors run in riots, pounding purple prose, ascending scent, lavender rose. Your nectar sweet, perhaps I'll be a sapling surging into tree to gather every winged thing that loves the air and starts to sing. Solomon, you wise old son, harp of David, finely strung. With many loves or simple line, direct the energy you find upon the meadow music lay. Sow and reap, distribute hay atop the compost, heat and wet. Transposition changes set, expansion hot, contraction cool, intention manifests as fool. Communal wealth or riverbed as hourglass brings to a head, a single bead drives single malt of equine engine to a halt. Nostril snort and exhale spume, a drop of sweat enfolds the room. Extol the virtues of the stud, unimpressed stands chewing cud. In matrimony joined at hip, into your page my words I slip. A quickie for Buford, a real quickie, a very short one. Warrior fans are not warriors. Giants fans are wearier. A's fans are warier. But Warrior fans are not warriors. And here's what I wrote today. Au pair. The incredible shrinking man, microcosm, has been seen emerging from the abyss. He has gathered many tribes, donned his black feathers, and is often seen, this is for you, Richard, and is often seen breathtaking and broadcasting the seeds of peace. He is die-casting the weave of diversity at universities by changing color at will. In black and white, he can emerge from the shadow anytime, anywhere. In color, he eats brownies and seeps into sepia. He engages pixel pixies, resides between dots where white noise is banished. Into the endless void, he becomes small enough to avoid bigotry. Firing pins and needles, he takes the sting out of prejudgment. Sells you nothing at all. No drugs, no cars or trucks, no vacation plans, no airline tickets, no retirement plans, no pizza, no sandwich, no politicians, no dysfunctional political parties, no movies, no TV shows, no video games, no gated communities, no air conditioners, no bee-killing roundup, no stiffies, no pads, no burgers, no fries, no sugar water, no glasses, no phones, no computers, no drones, no man's suits, no pantsuits, no cute cartoon characters, no stuffed animals, no stray pets, no jilted healthcare, no hand grenade, no bear traps, no fast food. He returns your common sense and intuition wrapped in a free speech wrapper. Shows you how to navigate from mustard seed to redwood in an instant without coffee. His partner is rose to prominence. She can transit mountaintops with a kiss instead of a bus. Most of all, she will present you with the true image of a nation by stoking your imagination. Rose to prominence. Assembly accomplished without IKEA. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, per the prior confusion, Rob. So when you were out, we called you for your regular slot. So I was thinking you could do your keynote piece followed by your regular thing, and that should take care of everything. Unless you want to delay the second thing.
I do want to, because I don't know what I'm going to do yet.
Okay, so you want to do your, we'll put you down here after her in the second half. I'll put your little WR, and why don't you come up here and do the keynote? And the Martin that you saw is not you, so I put you in your usual spot.
11 and a half.
Yes, 11.5. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate this. For me, you shouldn't have.
That's the extra.
Yeah, I know. So this is the keynote, and would you like to read and sign in? Okay, so we'll take. You can. Yep. There's lots of people. Just come over here. We'll figure it out because he's going to do his thing. I want you to feel welcome. I'll stop talking.
He's always felt welcome. We have tonight a keynote with costume. The keynote tonight is by Walt Whitman. I tramp the perpetual journey. My signs are a rainproof coat, good shoes, and a staff cut from the woods. No friend of mine takes his ease in my chair. I have no chair, no philosophy. I lead no man to a dinner table, library, or exchange. But each man and each woman of you I lead upon a knoll, my left hand hooking you round the waist, my right hand pointing to landscapes of continents and the public road. Not I nor anyone else can travel that road for you. You must travel it for yourself. It is not far. It is within reach. Perhaps you have been on it since you were born and did not know. Perhaps it is everywhere on water and land. Shoulder your duds, dear son, and I will mine, and let us hasten forth. Wonderful cities and free nations we shall fetch as we go. If you tire, give me both burdens, and rest the chuff of your hand on my hip, and in due time you shall repay the same service to me. For after we start, we never lie by again. This day before dawn I ascended a hill and looked at the crowded heaven, and I said to my spirit, when we become the enfolders of these orbs and the pleasure and knowledge of everything in them, shall we be filled and satisfied then? And my spirit said, no. We but level that lift to pass and continue beyond. You are also asking me questions, and I hear you. I answer that I cannot answer. You must find out for yourself. Sit a while, dear son. Here are biscuits to eat, and here is honey. But as soon as you sleep and renew yourself in sweet clothes, I kiss you with a goodbye kiss and open the gate for your egress. Long enough have you dreamed contemptible dreams. Now I wash the gum from your eyes. You must habit yourself to the dazzle of the light and of every moment of your life.
Right. So So that was right. That was the keynote of the evening. Normally do the keynote first, but my wife had a little health thing going on. She couldn't be here tonight, and he volunteered. He had to go back and get a phone. Never mind. All right. Thank you for that.
Is she okay? Is everything
Oh
okay?
yeah, she's fine. It's just like, you know, she had to go through several appointments, and the person A told her to go to point B, and the person there told her to go someplace else. And anyway, so no problem. It's just like, I want to sit down. I'm going to go to sleep. So she is. So oh,
Too much information.
thank you, Bob Jones.
James.
With an M. Hey,
James.
you
Okay.
got fools everybody.
All right. Thank you. So he is new, however, so we give him the royal treatment right now. Woo-hoo! Oh, Bob! That's Bob! Bob James! Bob. Wait a minute. This is Bob. Just so you know. Okay.
Just a hair. Just let's get it right for you.
Oh, bring it this way. The mic.
Oh, they
this
have
way.
to raise the mic for me.
That's right.
That's right.
It's a rarity. Okay. Good to be here, folks.
Just get close because otherwise, you know,
Okay.
it doesn't carry.
Got a couple of B poems. One is a micro poem, and it starts out. This is from an actual real-time experience that I endured for a few months with some bees that couldn't find their way out. So, bee invasion. I don't understand how they get in. They don't understand how to get out. Only the superior being knows all. And this one is the first stanza, my words, my chorus, and then followed by a very famous poet, the second verse, or the main verse actually, and then followed by my chorus again. To be, we need reverie, reverie alone. To be, we need reverie, both prairie and me. To make a prairie, it takes a clover and one bee, one clover and a bee, and reverie, the reverie alone will do. If bees are few, to be we need reverie, reverie alone. To be we need reverie, both prairie and me. Reverie, prairie and me.
Come on. Dear Limpong, that's me. So let me get close to the microphone, and she's going to check to make sure I'm framed. Otherwise, I'm not framed, and the head's cut off, and things gush all over the place. It's disgusting. Am I good? Okay.
Not all the
You're
time.
fair to middling.
Sorry.
It's a frame up.
Thank you.
He did do it. I don't care. He did do it.
I don't have my didgeridoo. All right, so these are haiku, and here we go with that. Good old Mary, friendly, gray-haired, sharp blue eyes, offers coffee with advice. Rows of corn stubble, the murder of crows, turns to circle me. I wondered about that. The egret lifts Afternoon on the salt marsh, surveyors wave one to the other. Doe and fawn, the mother drinks from the lake, rings on and on. 70 million years old, the fossil shell on the mantle in candles light. Tom's grave, light spring mist, collects in droplets, run down the lines of his name. The child I once knew, first boyfriend in one hand, basketball in the other. And this was from the San Francisco Blues Festival many, many years ago. It used to be held at the band shell. There I am dancing, and I saw this, and I had to catch it. It's great. Ah, well, never mind. What will he do with it? The ant crawling all over the big green grape. You wonder, it's going to clearly excited. Stern Grove, symphony, a spider working its web in the stage side brush. Oh, this is, David likes this one, or he said he did one time. Those hunting spiders between the chard and squash. No earwigs last night. And for him as a gardener, how I do weeding. Dig them up carefully. Replant them in the wild zone. Give them a chance. Oh, and so these I'm going to close with these three, or four. There's New Year's haiku, and this is from 2012, so you know it has something to do with all the 2012 stuff. This world's ending, not so much a concern compared to what comes next. Autumnal leaves cover the corners grate, glazed with wet. New Year's, one more time. Countdown, wherever we are, reflecting, we go. And this last one here, these two, then that's it. Too much. Loomis and Barnveld, I don't know if you know the city, but there's a intersection. A friend of mine used to live in, at, near, through, on that intersection. Loomis at Barnveld, midnight, the balloon drifts along, just dragging its string. And this is from Geary Street. Geary Street sidewalk, hidden in the very small tree. Two bitterly bickering birds. Thank you so much. Okay, now we have Martin Hickel before Martin Joseph, which was a source of confusion for me a moment ago. Hi.
I'm next to next, right?
You're the next Martin. Give this man a round of applause. We call him we call him Iron Man Martin.
And a big hand for our haiku artist here.
Thank you.
Well, this is not by me. This is by a New Zealand poetess, Himemamona Baker. And I love this so much, I put it to music of a sort. Pepper likes the pan, so never. Oh, well, you gotta have the title first, otherwise you're gonna miss the whole point.
Oh, good.
This is called the narcissist advice column.
Okay, that's clever.
Pepper black's the pan, so never shake it near me. Wait for the flagrant animations in my bedroom, in my bed base, in mountaineering situations. Sleep, swaddled, wake, ecstatic, my frantic menus in your mind. I taste of them all, refuse to refuse me. Waste your time on my errands, squeeze your lime on my lemons. Turn up, wearing the whole bird, not just the feathers. I say, turn up, wearing the whole bird, not just the feathers. I'm going to give you an important lesson. If you really, sincerely want to love yourself, first you must love me.
That goes without saying.
It does. You have any questions about who the president is or why? That's it. It's pretty simple.
Oh, yeah, I get that now. You should have said that first.
No. And I believe, you don't have to agree with me on this one, Christianity is the most narcissistic faith ever created. Because you worship me. I died for you. I'm your savior. I gave you everything. And all you have to do is give it all back for your whole life. Worship me, and your ticket is punched. I guarantee it. Yeah. Fortunately, you have to die first, so
There's always a catch. Must have been a lawyer in there.
Same. I don't know what this is at all. This is like horrible. A P is as good as a piddle. T as good as a shot. A single tree looks good like forest in the distance. Let go if you have too much. Same kind of people get elected, cops too much alike. Same kind of cats hang out in the park, not the least afraid to get caught. The rich are so for a reason, poor spend what little they get. Flowers bloom in the park to survive. Tell me a story, please, don't put yourself in it.
Yes.
Losers inside are the same, like winners. Save the day, see their names up in lights. But traffic is slow, congested, get lost, lose the right way. And what is right? The same as the wrong, it seems. Because it is never, ever what happens that matters, really. Only who you are when it does.
Martin Hickle, for God's sakes! Wait a minute, I'm using my Martin Joseph voice. All right, so Martin Joseph, you're coming up here. You will be preceding our feature of the evening. Elizabeth Bailey, and that's this guy here. Here. You did, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. You know, Richard Sandoval, you were supposed to follow me.
Oh, that is the most tragic thing I've ever heard in my life.
So, Martin Joseph, he was supposed to follow me on
No,
come on, get up here with your hand. Jeez Louise and a handbag.
you go first.
Come on. It was my mistake, fair and square.
Richard.
No, you go first.
No, Richard.
No, God damn, I'm gonna break my neck now.
Well, can I have your computer then?
No,
Just ask him to get first dibs, you know.
You don't understand. This is the one that's in control.
Oh.
Lay it on.
Sorry, Martin.
Lay it on.
I'm sorry.
This is the most disorganized thing I've ever attended.
Oh, it could be worse.
We're tender-hearted here.
Put it back to
Who the hell said that?
Wait a minute.
Conditioning at its best.
Oh, thank you.
Rock the house, Richard.
Yeah.
Is there a bed in the house? No, I'm done. I found an old one I hadn't read here.
Really?
Shut up. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Dealing.
That's it.
Dealing, feeling, sealing, reeling, feeling, freeing. Believing, conceiving, achieving, revealing, deceiving, receiving. Hauling, crawling, falling, calling, bawling, galling. Angling, tangling, mangling, laboring, favoring, savoring. Fighting, citing, writing, inciting, inviting, delighting. Hibernating, liquidating, liberating. At least on most days. Rene Yanez from the Mission Galerie de la Raza, I think he was one of the founders, has passed. I am somewhat bereft. I think I only met the man once. And someone please help me. A gentleman who was involved in the International Hotel, the youngest one, the Japanese.
Peter Yamamoto.
Sorry, say his name again?
Peter Yamamoto.
Peter Yamamoto, thank you. And I was going to go up to that memorial, but what I wound up doing is writing a piece. And this is dedicated to both. Make way for another poet passing. Make way, another poet has passed. Make way for passage. Let the knowledge poet's word still hear swirling in air. Repair to your rooms or places secure, reflect in meditation, thought, meaning they brought. They may be no notice by the general about them. Those who heard the tolling of the heart lost. Make altars of their lives, burn the sacred, what is sacred to the poet. Make way for the poet who took the time to tell you of what you know today. Lessons, stories not to be forgotten, put on bookshelves, but remain alive, spoken, performed live for the living, breathing consciousness. Let them tickle, cajole, laugh, cry, frustrate, infuriate, inform, befuddle, make beauty for all in all tongues. Make beauty in their passing must be replaced by the sadness of the corazon. They are now ancestors. Viva, brava, bravo, celebrate ancestors. Corazon, I am, again, use the word bereft. I just barely learned English and I'm almost 73, so Spanish is one of those things. But one word that always captures me is corazon. Corazon, one of the most beautiful sounds in Spanish. Corazon, heart, yes, heart. It is one needs seeing. Corazon, giver of life, intelligence, love. Jim Pepper, jazz sax player of the corazon, gave us heart when on our earthly plane. Corazon, freed of thorns it surrounds, free of torture as it remembers 7 generations ahead, beating strong as remembering back 7 generations that they sacrificed to prevent the wrongs. Hey, Corazon, bored, let's go out tonight. You know I hate doing that, but for you, Corazon, for you, Corazon. And my last piece, Run Deep. Do your still waters really run that deep? Or are they still no movement of thought? Evil comes to the village as a friend. No one notices. Begins its damage. We are only war heroes in our movies' dreams. Others die young, believing they could be. Since we're made of stars, flame on, my brothers and sisters, doesn't mean we survive things that burn stars. Gentleness is shown with reserve, wary of the violent. Beware of gentleness, might just win out one day, once old to swept away by thought. Finally, as slow thinkers, we finally see what is wrought upon us, what violence really is. We will stoke the fires of violence, bake bread, saute vegetable sauces, a clam bake, until the fire of violence can once again be contained, put on a leash, if you will. Never able to destroy, message from Coyote who whispers the dream as Wolf Watches says, contain, contain, contain.
Yeah. Thank you, the cursive writer. And now I believe we have Mr. Martin Joseph to come up here before. This is the Martin. This is him. So I guess I'll make both of them. Before we go to our feature, please give him a round.
Good evening, Sacred Grounds.
Good evening, Martin Joseph, for God's sakes.
I'll wait till everybody's ready.
All right.
Okay, good. So tonight, I don't have a poem for you. What I have is a diary entry and some comments. Does anybody know there was an election yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Well,
right.
It turns out, and that was June 5th. It turns out, could we have it quiet back there? Really? When other poets are at the mic, try to respect them, okay?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh.
You're on the audio track.
All right, go.
Okay.
Start over.
Okay. So, hi.
Oh.
Hey.
Good evening, Sacred Grounds. Tonight, I have a diary entry and some comments. And as I said before, there was an election. And it turns out that it's exactly 50 years after a previous election, one of June 5th, 1968. And that's the diary entry. It's called The Day RFK Was Shot. It was the last week of the school year in my sophomore year at Caltech. I'd always liked the Kennedys, but my roommate's friend was on Eugene McCarthy's staff, and I had to come see him as the genuine voice of opposition to the war in Vietnam. It was Gene McCarthy, not Bobby Kennedy, who had taken on Lyndon Johnson and forced him out of the race. We didn't really know back then that Bobby Kennedy was more of a phenomenon than his brother. I took time out every day that week after classes to go door to door campaigning for McCarthy. On the day of the California primary, McCarthy and Kennedy both spoke in Pasadena, where I lived. Bobby spoke at the Rose Bowl to 20,000 people. Gene spoke at a predominantly black shopping center at Fair Oaks and Walnut Streets in Pasadena. Maybe 600 people were there. I went to hear McCarthy speak and to watch Tom Saltonstall, my roommate's friend, hold the microphone for him. These were the rivers of our times, and the flood currents were high and deep. We simply did not know about the size, the number, or the venomous poison of the snakes that swam in our river. 2 months earlier, the bells had tolled for Martin Luther King. Our neighborhood was predominantly black, and with the Friendship Baptist Church on the corner playing King's I Have a Dream speech over its loudspeakers on the day of his funeral. It was considered paranoid to ascribe too much power, too much intention, too much coordination to the nameless controlling ones with evil intent. It simply couldn't be so far off. There was wrong, but to assign it to a single cohesive aggregate of force was paranoid. It just couldn't be. June 5th, 1968, the last day of finals. It was also California's primary election. There was no sense in doing any campaigning. The polls would be closed in an hour. I just went to the speech and hurried back home to pack my bags. The next day I would leave for my summer job in San Francisco. Of course, we all stayed up to watch the election results. Akihiro, Bill, myself, Alan, David, Judson, probably others. Pizza, something else, celebration, and goodbye. We watched as the night moved on and the results poured in. Winning California would have made McCarthy the primary challenge to Hubert Humphrey, but as the night wore on, the numbers turned over to Bobby's favor. It was a victory of big over little, I felt, but I still could support Bobby over the clear forces of evil, Hubert Humphrey and Richard Nixon. It was late, nearly midnight, when it was decided. The pizza was cold. We were all exhausted and listened to his short victory speech ending with, "On to Chicago." Okay, it would be Bobby. Let's get some rest. I was walking back to the bedroom and Bill was just about to turn off the TV when they said, "No, wait, something's happening back at the Kennedy campaign headquarters at the Ambassador Hotel. We take you back there." "He's been shot!" "Who? Who's been shot?" "The senator." "Oh my God, the senator. We don't know how badly. They're asking for a doctor. Can somebody make way for a doctor?" The TV camera cut to a long shot of the pandemonium on the stage where Kennedy had stood moments before. A Kennedy assistant was miming a message to someone in the crowd, holding his index finger up to his temple and bringing his thumb down upon it 3 distinct times. Blam, blam, blam. Shock. Compounded pain. Somebody had taken away something more precious than a single man, but no one was quite sure what was gone or who really had taken it. There was nothing to do but sleep. The drive north the next day was silence and the sound of the MG's motor. My little MG car didn't have much power, but it had a throaty roar. Shock. The daylight hours, foothill mountains, and all-day Central Valley sped by. But even the expanse of California could not stop the feeling of helplessness, the feeling of being boxed in, the feeling of being foam that is driven by a wave onto the shore. Anywhere that the wave decides to drive it, it will go. This, despite the foam's best efforts. This, despite the foam's best intentions. We found out many years later that the forces had faces. J. Edgar Hoover's face, the mobsters who owned the Ambassador Hotel's faces, the faces of people who put Sirhan in the right spot at the right time, and the face of the CIA hitman from Acme security guards who actually fired the fatal shots. It was not just the act of a single madman. All we have to call our own was the music. Country Joe and the Fish, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Bob Dylan, and Allen Ginsberg. The Lovin' Spoonful, the Mamas and the Papas, Simon and Garfunkel, the Doors, Charles Bukowski, the Smothers Brothers, Lawrence Ferlinghetti, Richard Brodigan, Jack Kerouac, Jack London, John Steinbeck, Woody Guthrie, Pete Seeger. The summer of 1968, our dreams had been assassinated. We didn't even know yet what was going to happen in Chicago, but I think I have an idea what the American Jews felt in the 30s when they heard about Kristallnacht purges in Germany. Definitely a bad sign, with more to come.
Martin Joseph, ladies and gentlemen.
50 years ago today.
So